Hey everyone! New games are cool and all, but you know what? There are tons of gems hidden in the past. And with pretty decent graphics too. So today, you're getting 20 projects with beautiful visuals that, even after 10 to 15 years or more, still look amazing today. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's not waste time. Let's go. BioShock, a timeless legend. It's a first-person shooter with RPG elements and a seriously deep story. So here's the setup. You're just flying on a plane, minding your own business, and then boom. Crash landing in the middle of the ocean. You climb out and there it is. A weird lighthouse sticking out of the water. You go inside, take an elevator down, and end up in Rapture. An underwater dystopia built by this genius billionaire who wanted a world with no government, no religion, just raw freedom. Well, a surprise. It all went horribly wrong. The city's flooded, crumbling, and crawling with insane mutants. Former citizens who overdosed on Autumn, a substance that gives you crazy powers but also fries your brain. What makes BioShock so special isn't just the guns, it's the plasmids. Think shooting lightning from your hands, freezing enemies, or setting them on fire, and that's just the start. You explore creepy corridors, uncover audio logs, and get completely sucked into the atmosphere. Visually, it's Art Deco meets nightmare fuel. Rapture still stuns to this day. Leaking ceilings, glowing neon signs, shadows dancing on the walls. The graphics might be a bit dated, but the art direction? Pure genius. And don't even get me started on the big daddies and little sisters. Eerie, iconic, unforgettable. Dark Souls 2. This one's a hardcore action RPG set in a dark fantasy world. You play as a cursed soul, literally undead. Every time you die, you come back. But you lose a piece of your humanity each time, slowly fading away. Your ultimate goal? Break the curse. Gameplay-wise, it's all about tough fights and exploration. The world is massive, and every step could be your last. You can't just button mash here. Every swing, every dodge, every block costs stamina. Run out at the wrong time, and you're toast. Even the weakest enemies can punish you if you're careless. And then there are the bosses. Each one is a brutal puzzle wrapped in a monstrous body. You'll die, a lot. But when you finally beat one after 15 tries, pure adrenaline. Visually, the game still holds up, especially the Scholar of the First Sin edition. The gothic environments are beautifully crafted, and while it's not the shadowiest game out there, the vibe is still totally on point. Watch Dogs. The first one. Yep, really. I know most folks prefer the second game, but hear me out. The first Watch Dogs, it's got a vibe. The graphics might have been nerfed after that legendary E3 trailer, but with mods, you can pretty much restore that original look, and it's gorgeous. The star of the show here? Chicago. You've got shiny skyscrapers, gritty alleys, the river glowing at sunset. It all looks like a postcard. And that fall atmosphere? Chef's kiss, leaves blowing in the wind, rain turning streets into mirrors, trash swirling through the air. It's moody in the best way. Gameplay-wise, it's not just another open-world city. There's real stuff to do. Missions, side gigs, tons of hacking tools, from cameras to traffic lights to, yep, even blowing up gas pipes. Hacking adds this fun layer where just walking around feels engaging. Think of it like GTA 4's mood, but with a digital twist. Sure, the world isn't massive, but it's dense, full of detail. Yeah, there are bugs, and yeah, the base game looks flatter without mods. But with a little tweaking, it turns into a stylish, open-world detective sim that hits just right. Grid Autosport. Not quite a sim, not quite an arcade racer. It hits that sweet spot where you actually need to feel the car, not just hold the gas and steer. Each car handles differently. You've got to learn when to brake, when to accelerate, how it reacts in corners. The cool part? The variety of races. You've got endurance races with tire wear, touring races with bumper-to-bumper action, open-wheel races that demand precision, drifting challenges, tuner events, basically something for every mood. There's also a career mode where you sign with teams, complete goals, and build your rep. Visually, it still holds up. Car models look slick, tracks feel alive, and city circuits especially are packed with detail. It may not be the flashiest game ever, but it's got a clean, professional look and great control that keeps it fun even now. Killzone 2. This is a brutal first-person shooter for PlayStation 3, where you play as an ISA Special Forces soldier fighting aggressive Hellcast on their grim planet. The gameplay here feels weighty, weapons are powerful, and firefights are very intense and spectacular, using cover and tactics even if your teammates are just bots. But the graphics in Killzone 2 were absolutely mind-blowing on PS3. The dark, oppressive atmosphere of Planet Helgon was conveyed beautifully through weapon detail, enemies, explosions, smoke, and lighting. Everything was at the highest level. This was a game that really showed the console's power, creating a very dirty, dusty, industrial look that worked perfectly for the atmosphere. Syndicate. Picture this: a future where corporations rule the world. People have become cyborgs with chips in their heads that let them see information, enhance their abilities, and even control others. You play as one of these agents working for a corporation. Your job is to do the dirty work, eliminate competitors, capture territories, and basically do whatever it takes to make your corporation the most powerful. The game itself is a first-person shooter where you run around grim, futuristic locations and gun down enemies. But the most interesting part isn't just the shooting. The chip in your head gives you superpowers. You can slow down time to hit enemies more accurately, or hack their systems to make them start shooting each other. Plus, you can control other agents, forcing them to follow your orders. The graphics in the game are dark and stylish. The atmosphere is oppressive like in some good thriller. The music is a whole separate thing. It fits the action perfectly, and some tracks are actually by Skrillex himself. Resident Evil 7. This installment brought the series back to its horror roots, but with a first-person view. You play as Ethan Winters, who's looking for his wife and ends up in the creepy mansion of the Baker family. This is true survival horror. Ammo is scarce, you need to solve puzzles, hide from enemies, and survive in this oppressive atmosphere. The game is really scary, especially if you play it in VR. Resident Evil 7 was the first game on the new re-engine, and trust me, it creates such photorealistic visuals that even now it looks amazing. The dark, dirty, and detailed Baker Mansion creates incredible immersion. The lighting, textures, models of the creepy Bakers, everything is top tier. Red Dead Redemption. The first one. This is basically Grand Theft Auto in the Wild West. You play as John Marston, a former outlaw who needs to catch his old gang members. You've got an open world with prairies, deserts, and towns where you ride horses, shoot revolvers, hunt, and complete tons of missions. The atmosphere here is just off the charts. There's a remaster available now, and on PC the graphics are just excellent. But trust me, for its time on PS3 and Xbox 360, the graphics were also groundbreaking. Incredibly beautiful landscapes, day and night cycles, weather effects like thunderstorms in the prairie looked stunning. Wildlife, animals, world detail, and everything felt very alive. And even now it's pleasant to look at these vast spaces, even if you're playing on last-gen consoles. Infamous Festival of Blood. This is a standalone expansion for Infamous 2, where the main character, Cole McGrath, becomes a vampire. Gameplay is similar to the main game, superhero action in the open world of New Marais, but with new vampire features like flying as a swarm of bats or sucking blood. Everything takes place over the course of one night. Festival of Blood uses Infamous 2 graphics but adds a dark gothic atmosphere. Night City, Halloween decorations, neon signs, shadows, red tones, and cool vampire ability effects create an awesome, somewhat comic book style and very atmospheric visual style. Need for Speed Shift. This NFS installment moved away from street racing to more simulation-style circuit racing, focusing on the driver's experience. The cockpit view is beautifully detailed. You feel the shaking, blur appears at high speeds, and there's a tunnel vision effect. Cars behave more realistically than in the arcade installments. Shift is remembered specifically for its cool cockpit view development and effects that convey speed and G-forces. The cars and tracks themselves were also excellently detailed, with good lighting, reflections, and shine on the bodywork. Mass Effect 3. This is the conclusion of an epic space opera. The game is a third-person action RPG where you play as Commander Shepard, saving the galaxy from the Reapers. You assemble a team, fly to different planets, complete missions, level up, and make very important decisions. The gunfights became more dynamic compared to previous installments. By the third part, the graphics noticeably improved. Character models became more detailed, facial animation got better, and all that good stuff. The environments on different planets look diverse and beautiful, from destroyed Earth to futuristic bases. The bright special effects from biotic and tech abilities make the game very cinematic. Mortal Kombat 10. This is a brutal and bloody fighter, just like MK should be. There's a bunch of familiar and new fighters, each with their own fighting styles and, of course, brutal fatalities. They introduced this cool X-ray attack feature that shows in detail how bones break and enemy organs get damaged. The gameplay is very dynamic and spectacular, and the graphics are just what you need. Characters are highly detailed, arenas are well crafted and interactive. Animations are smooth, special effects during hits, fatalities, and X-ray attacks are just chef's kiss. Even compared to the previous MK9, the game made a huge step forward in terms of graphics, detail, and overall visuals. Battlefield 4. This is a massive online shooter about modern warfare with open maps for 64 players, destructible environments, and tons of vehicles. We're talking tanks, planes, helicopters, and much more. The main feature of BF4 is the Levolution system, where global events happen on the map, like a skyscraper falling, that change the battlefield. BF4 on the Frostbite 3 engine looked absolutely stunning for its time and still looks great today. Vehicle detail, environments, explosions, smoke, weather, water. Everything looks awesome. And the destructible Levolution adds incredible spectacle. When you see a huge building collapse right in front of you, it's really impressive. Eurotruck Simulator 2. This is a trucker simulator where you drive a massive rig across European roads, transport cargo, follow traffic rules, and develop your company. Sounds meditative, but it's surprisingly addictive stuff. So you've got a trailer with all kinds of stuff, from potatoes and gas to tractors and wind turbine blades. The variety is huge, and your job is to deliver all this cargo in one piece, preferably on time too. You start from scratch as usual, take orders from other companies, earn some cash, save up, then go buy your first truck, and that's how you slowly build your whole empire. For a simulator, the graphics here are excellent. Detailed trucks both outside and inside the cabin, realistic European landscapes, day and night cycles, different weather conditions like rain and fog. The lighting is very pleasant, and the developers still update the game, improve graphics, and add content, so it looks solid even today. Sniper Elite V2. Here, your elite sniper Karl Fairburn destroyed Berlin at the end of World War II. Your task is to eliminate targets from a distance using a rifle. The main feature of the game is the X-ray kill camera, which shows in slow-mo and with anatomical accuracy how the bullet passes through the enemy's body. Gameplay is built on stealth, choosing position, and precise shots. For a sniper game, they did really good work on the environment here. Destroyed Berlin looks atmospheric, but the main visual feature is, of course, that detailed and brutal X-ray kill cam. Lighting and effects are also pretty good and help create tension. Fear 3. This is a first-person shooter with horror elements. You can play as one or both brothers, Pointman the soldier with time-slowing abilities, or Paxton Fettel the ghost with telekinesis and the power to possess enemies. There's actually a cool co-op mode where the brothers' abilities complement each other. Lots of action, shootouts, and creepy moments with Alma here. Graphics in Fear 3 excellently create a dark and tense atmosphere through dark corridors, destroyed locations, and play of light and shadow. Special effects during time slowing or when using Fettel's abilities look cool, and enemies and monsters are drawn very creepily. Maybe it's not the most beautiful game in the classic sense, but its visuals work perfectly for creating an atmosphere of fear and destruction. Insurgency. This is a hardcore tactical first-person shooter where there's no crosshair, health doesn't regenerate, and a couple bullets means you're done. The game focuses on realism, teamwork, and intense firefights on small maps, creating a very atmospheric experience. The game has both excellent graphics and excellent atmosphere. Realistic weapons, grim detailed maps, especially Middle Eastern cities, good lighting and smoke and dust effects. The minimalist interface only enhances immersion, because the graphics here serve not so much beauty as creating the feeling of real combat. Alan Wake. This is a psychological action thriller where you play as writer Alan Wake, searching for his missing wife in the town of Bright Falls. The main mechanic is fighting the darkness with light. First you burn away the darkness with a flashlight, then finish enemies off with weapons. The game is very atmospheric with a solid story. The main graphical feature of Alan Wake is stunning work with light and shadow. Flashlight beams cutting through forest darkness, flare gun flashes, thick fog. All this creates an incredibly dense and tense atmosphere. Forest landscapes and the town itself are drawn with attention to detail, and even now the game looks very stylish thanks to its visuals. There's actually a remaster too that looks fresher, so you can play that one as well. Assassin's Creed 3. Here you play as Assassin Connor during the American Revolution. Gameplay is classic for the series. Parkour, stealth, assassinations, but with tons of new features like climbing trees, hunting in forests, and even naval battles on ships. The world here is pretty big, including cities like Boston and New York and huge forest territories. The game used a new engine, Anvil Next, and the visuals became noticeably better than previous parts. The forest with changing seasons and snow that left deep footprints were especially impressive. For that time, it was a real wow factor. Character models became much more detailed, animations smoother, and large-scale scenes with tons of NPCs still look cool even now. Trackmania 2 Canyon. This is an arcade racer where the main thing isn't collision but perfect completion of insane tracks for time. Trackmania's feature is crazy tracks with jumps, loop-de-loops, and sharp turns, often created by players themselves. You compete here with ghosts of other racers or your best time. Very addictive stuff that requires precision. Visually, Trackmania 2 looks very bright and pleasant. The graphics are stylized with cool canyon landscapes and detailed cars. The main thing here is smoothness and speed. The game is also excellently optimized. The picture is juicy and pleasing to the eye, especially against the backdrop of insane track constructions. So that's basically all 20 games for today. But of course, there are way more gems hidden in the past, and if you support this video with your like, I'll make a second part, third, and so on until we run out of games. So don't forget to subscribe too so you don't miss new videos. And thanks for watching till the end. See you in the next videos.